Question 3, what is the value of n? All right, so once again, we have a complex equation here. Variables are on both sides, and we have a fraction. So we're going to go ahead and use our decision chart. All right, so at the top it says, are there fractions or decimals to remove? And yes, I do have a fraction, but once again, I only have one fraction, and it's being used for distributive property. So rather than using the LCM, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to choose to just do distributive property with it. So I'm going to multiply 1/2 times 10n, and I'm going to multiply 1/2 by the 4. So when I do that, on the left, nothing changes. So I still have n minus 2 equals, now half of the 10n is going to give me 5n, and half of the 4 is going to give me 2. All right, so now I have n minus 2 equals 5n plus 2. All right, now at this point, because I've got my distributive property, I'm going to go ahead and draw my line down the middle here. Just help me to see this. Okay, so I did distributive property. Now, the other thing I can do that you guys have really liked is we are going to box in our variables, okay? And we are going to circle our constants, making sure we take operators with them, okay? Making sure we take those operators with them. All right, so good. So, okay. So let's see if I could do something. Nope. Okay. Sorry. I'm learning these tools a little bit. All right. So now my next question asks, are there like terms on the same side of the equal sign? Well, on this side, I still have a box and a circle, and then I have a box and a circle. So nope, no like terms on the same side. So are there variables on both sides? Well, yes, I have a box on the left and a box on the right. So I need to add or subtract to move my variable to one side. Now again, my recommendation is always to move the one with the smaller coefficient. So the coefficient here on the right is 5, and since I can't see a coefficient on the left, that means the coefficient is 1. 1 is smaller than 5, so my recommendation is to move the 1n. And so I'm going to write it as a 1n just because it's going to help me over here. All right, I know it feels weird because it's like you're going to the wrong side, but trust me, it helps you because you don't get negatives that way. All right, so my n's are going to cancel over here. I'm going to be left with -2. That's part of why we want to make sure we circle those operators. So I have -2 over here equals 5n minus 1n is going to give me 4n, and then I have plus 2. All right, so that gives me my setup after I move my variable. So I only have a variable on one side. All right, so that gets me to that point. Now, my next question then asks me, oops, that would be the wrong color. Sorry, guys. My next question then asks me, do I have constants on both sides? Well, yeah. I have green circles on both sides, so that tells me I have constants on both sides. So I need to move the constant away from the variable, okay? So the constant that's with the variable is the added 2, because that's on the same side. So the inverse operation is to subtract 2. Oh, and I forgot to change tools. Sorry about that. Okay, is to subtract 2. So I'm going to subtract 2 on both sides of the equal sign. Again, over there on my right-hand side this time, those are going to cancel me out. So I have -2 minus a 2. All right, again, the signs are the same, which means I add them, but I keep the sign that's there. And so this is going to give me -4. And then I have 4n left over here on the right. Now I have a coefficient with my variable. So my coefficient, I know that I divide. Coefficients are multiplied, so I'm going to divide by 4 on both sides of the equal sign. The 4's on that right where the variable is are going to cancel each other out, leaving me with just the n. And then on the left, -4 divided by +4 is going to give me -1. So I could say -1 equals n, or I could say n equals -1. And there is problem number 3.